Alright, happy Wednesday, guys. Thursday, whatever day you're watching this. Alright, so we're on to our final unit, down the home stretch. Make sure you're getting the Hawks done, staying on track. It'll help you out the most. So today's stuff's 8.1, solving linear systems. Really what you guys need to know is that if it's consistent, alright, that's going to be one solution for our sake. Or at least one. It can have two, but it's going to have at least one solution. Inconsistent means it's going to have no solution, and then dependent means it's going to have infinitely many solutions. So what this looks like, whenever you're solving these, if you get something like 3 equals 2 at the end, that means it's not going to be possible. But if you get 3 equals 3, that means it is possible, so you're going to have infinitely many. Whereas if it has 1, it's going to be like x equals 2, y equals 3, or something like that. You actually have an answer. So it just depends on the problem. I don't really have too many examples of inconsistent and dependent ones because it's just kind of hard to show you how the work works just to get those examples. But no, if you're canceling stuff out, substituting or eliminating, and you get 3 equals 3, that means it's going to be infinitely many. If you get 3 equals 2, that means there's going to be no solution. Whereas consistent independent is going to have one solution. So there's different ways to solve these. You can use substitution or you can use elimination. Substitution is most helpful whenever you have a single letter by itself with a 1 in front of it. So in this case, the y is by itself. So I'm going to solve it for y. I'll subtract 2x. I'm going to get y equals 5 minus 2x. Now what you're going to do with that, you're going to take that y, what I have here, and I'm going to sub it in for the y in the other equation. So I'm going to write the other equation. 3x minus 2 times 5 minus 2x. I'm going to replace that y with 5 minus 2x. Set equal to 4. Now I got to solve it. So 3x minus 10 plus 4x equals 4. I can combine these. So I get 7x minus 10 equals 4. Add 10. 7x equals 14. Divide by 7. X equals 2. So once you get your x value, you're going to want to plug it in. You can plug it into either equation of the original one. So I'm going to take this and plug it into either one. I'm going to plug it in the top one just because it's easier. 4 plus y equals 5. Subtract 4. Y equals 1. So your answer is written as a coordinate like that, 2, 1. Alright, again, the easiest one to manipulate is the one that has a 1 in front of it. So in this case, it's a negative 1. That's 3x minus 1y equals 5. Let's subtract 3x. And I'm going to divide it all by negative 1. So negative 5 plus 3x. Now you're going to take that, substitute it into the other equation. So I'm going to take this, sub it in for my y. Combine like terms. By negative 1. So x equals 0. So now you're going to take that, plug it into the other equation. I'm going to plug it into the top one. You can plug it into either one. Top one's usually the easiest one. So by negative 1, y equals negative 5. So your answer is 0, negative 5. So I'll leave that there so you guys can kind of get the gist of it. That's substitution. I'm subbing it in for the other equation. Another way to solve it is going to be elimination, which is the next example. Don't forget you want to label these. All right, so this one right here is going to be consistent. Really what you're worried about is the word independent. Independent means one answer. So this one's also independent. All right, dependent means they depend on each other, so that would be infinitely many solutions, and that's what I had you guys write up here. All right, so just keep that in mind because you're going to do that on the Hawks. Next one, solving it using elimination. So what you want to do is you want a y in both equations to be the same number and opposite signs. So you see there's a positive 2 and a negative 2. So now I'm going to add these equations together. So I'm going to get 8x, the y's are going to cancel, equals 12. I'm going to divide by 8. X equals 3 halves. I'm going to simplify it. Now you take that x and you plug it into either equation. I'm going to plug it into the top one. Solve it. You can always double check these by plugging them in. We're not going to take the time to do that, but you can. Don't forget to label it. This one's going to be independent because it has one answer. Next one, you cannot eliminate anything right away, so you sometimes have to multiply an equation. You see how this is a negative and this is a positive? So it's easiest to change the one that has a 1 in front of it, so the one down here. I'm going to multiply this whole equation by 3. So now my top equation stays the same. The bottom equation becomes 9x plus 3y equals negative 15. Now I can add them. I get 11x equals negative 22. Divide by 11. X equals negative 2. From there, I'm going to take that, plug it into either equation. I'm going to plug it into the top one. Solve it. You get y equals 1. Again, you could double check these by plugging them into both equations to make sure it works. But you just know it works. That's elimination and substitution, and that's what you guys are doing today. There's 4 examples. What I want you guys to do is these 4 problems. So here's 1 and 2. We'll label them. This could be 1. This could be 2. Make sure you're using substitution on these. It tells you which one to use. So you're using substitution on these 2. And then on these 2, you're going to use elimination. That'll be your homework problems for the day. And that's all I'm going to ask you to do. Later on in this video, there are 3 equations, and you do see a couple of these on the Hawk, so that's why I want to go over them. You can use substitution or elimination either way. It's just a little bit harder because you have to get rid of an equation for all of them. So on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use elimination. I think the y's are the easiest to eliminate because there's a negative 1, a positive 1, and a positive 2. So we're going to look at these 2 equations right here. I'm going to have to multiply the top one by a 2 to get rid of it, to get rid of my y, that is. And then I'm going to add them. 5x minus 4z equals negative 37. So that's one equation. And then you're going to do the top one and the bottom one. So I did the top one and the middle one. Now I'm going to do top and bottom. Solve it. The y's already cancel. So if you cancel out the y's, you got to cancel out the y's in this one as well. Now I have 2 equations. Get rid of another variable. I'm going to get rid of the x's because one's positive, one's negative already. So this time I got to multiply both equations. I'm going to multiply this one by 3 and this one by 5. So when you do that, you get negative 15x minus 15z equals 30. The other one's going to become 15x minus 12z equals I would add them. Divide by negative 27. I get z equals 3 finally. So from there, what you want to do is I can plug it into either equation, either that one or that one. I'm going to plug it into the one on the right. You get x equals -5. Now that you have those two, you're going to pick one of the original equations and plug it into that. So I'm going to take z and x and plug it into this top equation over here. I get -5 minus y minus 2 times 3 equals -6. You can plug it into the middle one, the bottom one, doesn't matter. I just plugged it in the top one. So you got -5 for your x, -5 for your y, and 3 for your z. And that was elimination. You can also use substitution, guys. So I'm not going to solve the whole thing because I'm running out of time. But this one right here, it's got one y, so I'm going to solve it for y. And I'm going to substitute that into both equations. And you're going to repeat the process again. Alright, so after I solve for y, then I can solve this one for x and substitute it into the other equation and repeat the process. So it's just longer, it's not harder. You have to do it again if you want to. You can practice this one. This one's probably the hardest one I could find because it's got fractions in it. Don't be afraid on the Hawks whenever I assign it next time if you do have fractions. So that's the answer to that one if you want to check it. Again, the 4 problems I want you to submit to Classroom are these 4 right here. If you guys have any questions, please email me. Other than that, make sure you're staying on top of your work. Again, we're down the home stretch here.